So welcome to week 11 of The Artist Way. This one is about autonomy, and Julia spits absolute bars. The first part is about acceptance, how to really accept the fact that we need to create for ourselves firstly. We need to be connected to ourselves. We can't get distracted by what other people say, what might bring us money. It's about doing the work continuously and being creative. Creativity is oxygen for our souls. And I read that, I'm like, that's true. It doesn't really matter what the result is. And yes, you might have the skill and the practice to create something that other people find valuable, but the first value is for you, because it is your lifetime that you're using to create this thing that you are passionate about. And if you don't do that, you lose credibility with yourself, also with other people down the line, but first and foremost with yourself, and that's really important. And that kind of inner freedom is a spiritual practice. We continue to do the work, and when the doubt comes up, we just start over and try again. She emphasizes how important it is to do something that makes you happy. Doesn't matter what your parents say, doesn't matter what your teachers say. Don't let anybody tell you that you need to get married and have kids or work that particular job, but continue staying connected with yourself and really nurturing your soul. Here comes the next bar. Creativity is a spiritual practice. It is not something that can be perfected, finished, and set aside. And that's really true, isn't it? We're never really done, because if we finish the work, the goalpost just moves. And we are yet asked to create again. It has a lot to do with enjoying the process of creating. And sometimes we feel that things we create are a little bit more edgy, or a little bit, we have the expectation of it being disliked by other people. And that's actually really important, because that's where the energy lies. We can't do things to please other people, also in the expectation for them to wanting to buy our work. Because if we continue to do something that other people recognize as a formula, we might stifle the growth or the change that comes natural to our creative work. And then, we take fun out of life. I've actually experienced that in many ways. I created a lot of abstract art, and now my work has becoming much more figurative. For example, this is the one that I'm working on right now. At first I was really irritated, because I thought, oh, does that really fit me? But it is what came up and what made me happy to create. And something that I also found very interesting is that she says that we do not need to give up our work, whatever it is that we make money with, to find creative fulfillment. We can do both. And that's really liberating, because once you decide for sure that you want to make money with art, it changes in a way the process of art making. And it's good to have this inner independence first, where you are steadfast in your willingness to change, because that's really what creativity is essentially about. Otherwise you would be a robot. That's really healthy, to make sure that you don't overburden your creativity with responsibility and dependence on making money that you might not be able to fulfill right away. It's fine if it creates business down the line, and I wish it for you and everybody who goes that way, including myself. But it's not the most important part about creativity. And there are other ways to satisfy the different needs. Not everything has to be, rolled into one big burrito. The next part of the chapter is about the Zen of sports. She speaks about different ways of getting into the body and essentially out of your head. She suggests to go horseback riding, bicycling, walking, as we have tried before in one of the first chapters. And it's all about moving, so we don't get stagnant in our life. And in many ways, especially those of us who work in home offices, it's really easy to get stagnant. And to counter that is to move. It could be anything. It could also be dance. So just that the requirement is that there is a repetitive movement that you do, in which you essentially lose the necessity to think. And you get all of this creative input and visual stimulation from your outside environment. If you're outside, that's preferable actually. And then you can, transmute that again into your creativity. Here we have the example of Gary, who is a confirmed city dweller, as she says. Gary gathers urban visual delights the same way his primordial ancestors gathered this nut and that berry. They gathered food, and he gathers food for thought. I really love that. I think that's what a lot of creatives do also on YouTube, to gather food for thought. Let me know what you think about it. I know that's definitely something that I do. There are certain creators that I really enjoy, and they're very, very, very different from each other, but each of them gives me a different food for thought. And then we are asked to create an artist's altar. I really love that. I already have that, so I don't need to do the task, but let me show you mine. So this is my teeny tiny artist's altar. I'm a very orderly person, maybe surprisingly, but this is kind of where I allow chaos to happen and to stay. So I have all of these colors here, and there's even more colors on the floor. Yep, it's a whole collection, and because I've learned how important it is to nourish myself, I gave myself permission to buy the whole set. Now, as an old school painter, I used to mix everything myself, mix the right quantities, put them all in little glasses. You know what? It's fine. It's fine, and I actually really enjoy these pre-mixed colors that I could just use straight out of the tube. For example, to make this little fella here, oops, this yes sign. It follows none of my little rules that I've made for my painting, subconsciously, by the way. And I guess that's why I really like it. It's a bit punky, and it reminds me to say yes to life. Among the tasks, I did the plan of week of nurturing for yourself, and this was my plan. Tuesday, long bath with scented oils. Wednesday, collect structures from surfaces with a crayon or a pencil. Thursday, make a small bouquet for my office. Friday, do a no media day. Oh, that's going to be challenging. I'm kind of trying to bring week 4 back, the no media kind of diet. Give my phone to my husband and seal my office. Oh, gee. I am allowed all creative tools. I did that today. I created this 2 days ago, so. Saturday, bake something with lavender and orange peel. And Sunday, make a lavender chai latte or something creamy. Monday, go into the garden and sit for 25 minutes and watch the grass grow. Everybody's week will look different, but this is the task. Then I also wrote and mailed an encouraging letter to my inner artist. She says, this sounds silly. She says, this sounds silly and feels very, very good to receive. Remember that your artist is a child and loves praise and encouragement and festive plans. So what I did here is I created this with AI. As you may or may not know, I'm an artist who's inclined to AI. I like to use it. However, I currently have a little bit of a problem because the tool that I used to use has some ethical issues. I want to create something that has not been created based on stolen content, but more on like ethically sourced data. Yeah, I created this with another tool than the usual one. And then I put it into a little envelope and actually asked my husband to deliver it to me. We had the mailbox in a few days. So let's see what happens.